Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nina, Cellular Nutrition and Lifestyle Coach, and today I'm going to share with you my favorite top 5 carbohydrate sources. And we're back with carbs. Carbs are the best. Carbs are my favorite. Carbs are your friend, people. Okay? Don't be afraid of the carbs. They are not the enemy. Right? Right. Got it. So today I'm going to share with you my favorite carbohydrate sources. It was so hard to choose these because there are literally hundreds of carbohydrate sources. I feel like everything's a carb these days. It pretty much is. Most things are, or most things contain carbs. But I've chosen 5 sources that are pretty much just carbohydrates. Like, we don't really have any combination of fats in there or protein so much. It's mainly carbohydrates. It's going to make it nice and easy for you when you're trying to choose a carbohydrate source and you want the most carb for your buck for the calories you're getting. So why do we need carbohydrates? Why are they important? Well, firstly, have you ever cut out your carbohydrates or tried a keto diet or anything like that? I have. And you are so lacking energy, especially for that first part, or you're getting brain fog, you can't really think very well. Well, that's because carbohydrates are your body's primary energy source. They help fuel your body's brain function, central nervous system, your heart, your muscles. They are so important to consume. Now, quick disclaimer when it comes to carbohydrates and any low carb diets like the ketogenic diet, for example. Carbohydrates are a macronutrient that you don't necessarily have to consume. This is very personal preference when it comes to the type of diet you want to follow, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you love consuming carbs, there's absolutely no reason why you have to cut them out. But if you're someone who enjoys eating more fat, for example, as a macronutrient as opposed to carbohydrates, you can eat more fat and a lower source of carbohydrates. That is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. I am somebody who loves carbohydrates. I consume over 200 grams of carbs a day, every day. I love them and I function really well on these as opposed to when I reduce carbohydrates in my diet. I've tried the low carb diets, higher fat diets, and they're just not for me. But if they're for you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, okay? Now that we've got that out of the way, moving on to my favorite carbohydrate sources. Okay. Number 1, I couldn't choose just one because, listen, fruits are amazing. Fruits are carbohydrate sources and there are so many fruit options out there. So these are my favorites I love to consume either on the daily or just weekly. I am a berry fanatic. Anything that's berries, I love berries. And watermelon. Had to add in the watermelon. So for me, I love raspberries. I could literally eat a punnet of these for a snack really, really easily. And another reason I love berries altogether is because they're actually quite low in carbohydrates per serving. So if we look at these, I was like, they don't have a thing on them. These are for about 100 grams. They're about 10 grams of carbohydrates, which is not very much. So you could really add a lot of these into your day and get a lot of volume out of them. That's going to make you feel much fuller and more satisfied than eating, say, some candies or something like that. So I have raspberries. I love blueberries. I have strawberries, and I have these fresh, but you can also have them frozen. I have some in the freezer too, so you can throw them into smoothies and they just make a really good smoothie when they're frozen. Watermelon is just delicious, so that is there too. But you can honestly choose, before these fall over, you can honestly choose any fruit sources that you love. It doesn't have to be these, but I love these. They're so good. The next one is rice. Rice is pretty simple, but that's it. But you know, when you're consuming a lot of carbohydrates in the day, so for me, 200 is quite a bit to consume if I'm just eating fruits or lower carbohydrate food options, like obviously vegetables contain carbohydrates, but we're not including those today because they're super, super low. So rice helps me actually get my carbohydrate intake up much quicker. So for about 125 grams of cooked rice, you're looking at maybe 30 grams of carbohydrates, roughly 30 to 40, depending on the rice that you're using. So it's really a great way to increase my carbohydrate intake with meals without eating a huge amount of food where I'm like super crazy stuffed. So Love me some rice. The next one is, I was gonna try to juggle these and I know I can't juggle, so I'm not even gonna try. So sweet potatoes. I love the sweet potatoes. They can be general potatoes. You can choose those too, that's fine. I just love the flavor of sweet potatoes, and I love chopping these up, putting them in the oven with a little bit of like salt and some oil on them. They taste like chips. We call them chips. You guys in the US, everyone calls them fries. But so freaking good. You can add them to any meal. I just think these are a great staple. They also contain a high amount of fiber, which is a carbohydrate component that's great for your digestion as well. So sweet potatoes are a must in my opinion. The next one is some bread. Now I know so many of you, or some of you, not so many of you, will probably be like, Nina, what are you choosing bread for? It's processed, it's not a whole food, etc, etc, etc. I hear you, but let me tell you one thing. Unless you have an intolerance to a certain food, there's no reason why you don't have to eat it. So a lot of people eat gluten-free, which is fine if that's a preference or you have that intolerance, but you don't necessarily have to cut out gluten-containing foods unless you have an intolerance to those foods. So when I eat bread, my digestion is just fine. I enjoy eating bread. There's no reason why I shouldn't eat bread. So I actually love making some toast, especially avocado toast in the morning. So delicious. So bread is a must for me. All right, the last ones. Now, this is kind of like a two-in-one because I couldn't decide, but they're kind of from the same family. And again, you guys are gonna be like, what are you choosing these for? I love cereal. I'm obsessed with chocolate cereal. Cocoa Pebbles are the bomb.com, just saying. And then I have these chocolate rice cakes from Quaker. They are delicious as well. They're pretty much a similar food group, so I'm not going to, I just couldn't choose, so I'm putting a two-in-one. So these rice cakes are amazing, especially if you want something a little bit lower carbohydrate per serving. They're only 12 grams of carbs per cake, and these are the chocolate flavored ones, so they're delicious if you have a chocolate craving. They're great for pre-post workout snacks. They're really easily digestible, so I love these. Cereal, the Cocoa Pebbles. Again, this around my workout time is fantastic. They're not crazy high in carbs. They're about 30 grams per serving. I probably have about 2 serves every time I have an actual serving. It's like double, because you don't want, have you ever weighed out a serving of cereal? 36 grams, it's very sad. It's like a third of the bowl. You don't want to do that. So I generally go for 2 servings of this, and that's usually after my workout time when I'm consuming the highest amount of carbohydrates I need in the day, or sometimes even before my workout, because they're very quickly and easily digestible. So love some cereal. There you have it. That's my top 5 carbohydrates that I love to consume every single week. If there's any that you like to consume that I haven't mentioned, please comment below and let me know. I know there's so many that I could probably continue to list off as well, but these are ones I generally eat all the time. So if you found this video helpful, please let me know, and please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out, and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss a video. I'll catch you next time.